Welcome to the Bookworm Duo, where we explore a variety of books. Let's get started. Our mission today is to deep dive into the enchanting, chaotic world of Annie Wildwood, the protagonist of Uncharmed. We're doing a chronological excavation of her journey, specifically focusing on the moment-to-moment breakdown of how she transforms.
Right, from this super organized London witch running her pastry shop, Celeste.
Which is called Sugar and Sorcery. Love that name.
It's great, isn't it? So from that, Annie, to becoming this reluctant, kind of messy guardian of a magical orphan.
Yeah, we're basically giving you the shortcut to Annie's entire fantastic character arc. Pink frosting and all. So let's start with Annie's carefully constructed life in London. It really is a masterpiece of aesthetic control.
Oh, definitely. Everything's pink.
Everything. The pinafore dresses, perfectly coordinated.
Yeah.
And she even has this specific spell, Calcius Communis.
Yeah, the Comfy Shoes spell. It's gradual magic that makes her high heels feel like clouds. Pretty neat, actually.
It is. And her schedule is, well, religious. Thursday date night, Monday cake club.
Yeah.
She is the absolute definition of organized perfection.
The kind of person who knows exactly what comfort concoction to brew for Olive's banana bread.
Totally.
But here's where we get the very first crack in that perfect facade. Because that level of perfection, it's completely unsustainable.
Right.
And we see how much powerful magic she's relying on just to keep it all going. Like on one of her Thursday dates, Cedric.
Oh, Cedric.
He gets a bit full of himself, and she just, boom, casts a quick spell. Speeds up his watch by 3 hours.
Ah, okay, that's kind of funny.
It is funny, but it signals something much darker.
Yeah.
She's cutting the date short, not because she's busy with the bakery, but to perform this really draining nightly ritual.
Yeah.
It's tied to this powerful, frankly, necromantic hex she calls the spell, or, Splendidus Infernum.
Splendidus Infernum. That spell is the secret kind of insidious sauce to her whole existence, isn't it?
Absolutely. It guarantees total success, infinite patience. She barely needs sleep, and she always looks flawless.
But the trade-off is huge.
Yeah.
This is fascinating.
Yeah.
To keep up this perfect image, she has to actively absorb, the emotional labor, the sadness.
And the deep, profound regrets of lingering spirits. Yeah. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, that's the whole thematic irony of the novel, right?
Yeah.
She gets this ultimate outward perfection by basically embodying the ultimate state of imperfection, all the piled up regret and sadness of the dead.
Why does she cling to it? It sounds awful.
Well, she clings to this really painful routine because she is fundamentally terrified of failure and disappointment.
Okay.
And that fear is deeply rooted in the scandal around her parents, their fall from grace. She thinks this self-inflicted pain is the price she has to pay.
The price for what? Keeping everyone else happy.
Exactly. And, crucially, making sure she won't be abandoned like her father was. It's heavy stuff.
So if her inner life is all about absorbing regret,
Mm.
who is she performing this spectacular perfection for?
Well, it turns out her social circle isn't the open, accepting Selkirk coven you might expect. Not really.
Oh.
She's firmly entrenched in the society, a very secretive, elite group of witchefolk.
Right, they meet in the Tempest Theater, the one that transforms.
That's the one, activated by that melancholy piano sequence. Very dramatic.
So what's the deal with this group? Why are they important?
They're critical to understanding the stakes. The society, they look down on the average Selkirk witch, calling them riffraff. It's all about hierarchy for them.
And Annie, where does she fit in?
Well, Annie's kept around, or maybe used is a better word, because her family's magic loss and the suspicion around them made them vulnerable. She basically acts as a spy.
A spy. For who?
Or like a contact for the society within the wider coven structure, specifically for powerful heralds like Glory Whitlock, who wants eyes everywhere.
Okay, wow. That adds another layer to her perfection act.
Totally. It sets the stage for her so-called self-care ritual, which is anything but self-care.
Right, the Splendidus Infernum. In her dark apothecary bathroom. Tell us about that.
We see the mechanics. There's instantaneous makeup removal with Venus Tergeo. Then the potion turns the bathwater this chilling cardinal red.
Yikes.
She gets the benefits, the perfection, the patience, but the cost is always there. She's genuinely haunted by the sadness and shame of the spirits drawn to her Wildwood hex.
It's like a physical manifestation of her fear then.
Exactly. She's literally taking on other people's burdens to avoid dealing with her own internal messiness. And what's fascinating is how quickly that ordered life just shatters.
Yeah, when she gets called to service, right?
Precisely. The luxury of her routine is just destroyed when she's summoned to Hecate House, the Selkuth HQ.
And getting in is kind of fun. She has to use a local playground.
Yep, jumps into the hopscotch sequence 37913 and says the incantation Tonitru Fulgur Pluvia.
Thunder, lightning, rain.
Okay. And there she meets Sage Witch Marina Gowden, who has a problem child.
Enter Maeve Cadmus.
Enter Maeve, 15-year-old orphan. Uncontrollable, high-voltage magic, no clear magical lineage.
And she just caused some flamey chaos at her foster home.
Understatement of the year. So Marina proposes this live-in companionship for Annie. It's basically a test.
A test of her amiable nature.
Yeah.
A chance to impress the coven.
Yep, her chance to show the elite that her perfection thing actually, works in the field.
Spoilers. It immediately fails.
Spectacularly. Her mother even warned her the perfection spell tends to glitch around teenagers.
They can smell a fake from a mile away.
Exactly. So Annie meets Maeve in the school canteen, probably expecting admiration, right? But Maeve, total bookworm, uses books like a fortress, sees straight through the pink frosting.
And then the chaos kicks off almost instantly.
Oh, yeah. Maeve gets tormented by a bully, Jessica, and Maeve just snaps. Huge, explosive burst of uncontrolled power.
And she turns Jessica into an orange.
An orange. Causes a fire, a blackout across the area. Confirms everything. Maeve needs immediate isolation.
So Marina just whisks them away.
Instantly. Transfers them straight to the designated safe house.
But she's delightfully terrible. Arden Place.
Arden Place. It's this neutral ground safe house that is utterly run down.
Like no hot water. Outside loo.
Surrounded by creatures, it is the absolute antithesis of Annie's pink London life.
And Maeve finds this hilarious,
Yeah.
naturally.
Of course she does. Annie, though, is still desperately clinging to control. She tries this magical makeover on the place.
All right, the Malibu Dreamhouse vibe. How does that go over?
Maeve is entirely unimpressed, delivers that iconic line, calls Annie a ridiculous cupcake of a witch.
Perfect. And the training attempts. Also a disaster.
Total disaster. Annie tries teaching structure with a pumpkin carrot spell. Maeve rejects the whole people-pleasing pushover attitude.
And things catch fire.
The cauldron bursts into blue fire, the curtains catch fire again. It's clear Annie is way out of her depth.
Then their turbulent partnership gets interrupted.
Right. By the arrival of Hal Bancroft. Rugged warlock, heads up mythical beasts at Selkoth.
Shows up in a Stetson, covered in mud, claiming Arden Place is his house.
That's him. The contrast between Hal's mud and Annie's pink is just immediate.
And Maeve instantly connects with him.
Oh, yeah. Starts pestering him with questions about slaying vampires. Finds a kindred spirit, maybe?
Okay, so this is where the plot really twists for Annie personally, right? The Hex Leak.
The Hex Leak. Maeve confesses that spirits are visiting her at midnight, sharing their heavy regrets.
Just like they do with Annie.
Exactly. Annie realizes her Splendidus Infernum ritual created this weird affinity, and her necromancy hex is now unintentionally leaking onto Maeve, haunting the poor kid.
Oh, man. That's awful.
Meanwhile, Hal points out Maeve's really potent animal affinity. Explains why animals, even Annie's familiar, Karma, are so intensely drawn to her.
So Annie, trying to solve someone else's problem to prove her own worth.
Has actually ended up making that problem so much worse. The irony is just excruciating. She brought the chaos of her own inner life right into Maeve's.
Wow, okay. But their kind of developing found family dynamic gets cut short.
Suddenly dissolved by a letter from Marina, delivered via unscorching ash fragments. Very dramatic delivery method.
What does it say?
Decrees that Maeve's magic is stable now, their guardianship is over. Done.
And Maeve is furious. I am not a task. That line hits hard.
It really does. But Annie, still operating under that ingrained pressure, that need for her old perfect life, insists they have to go back to London.
So Annie goes back to Celeste, back to the routine.
She does.
Yeah.
And attends the Society's Samhain Ball at the Tempest Theater. But the hex is gone now. Her facade is crumbling.
And it feels empty.
Utterly empty. She looks at her friends, Romilly, Vivienne, Harmony, and she just sees it. They're mocking her, using her.
The perfection she sacrificed everything for meant nothing to them.
Exactly. This is Annie's ultimate breaking point. She confronts them, and the full malice of the society just spills out.
She realizes she was only ever useful, a contact.
And that they were actually working for Glory Whitlock's faction the whole time, tracking the Cadmus lineage. That connection clicks into place.
So all that manufactured perfection just bought her betrayal.
Total betrayal. And Annie just erupts. Real, visceral anger. Shatters the mirrored walls of the theater with raw magic she's suppressed for years.
Whoa. The physical destruction of the mirror. That's symbolic.
It's the final obliteration of her perfect self-image. It had to break.
So her life, literally in pieces, she flees.
Performs this rickety, messy transferal spell back to Arden Place, and she ditches her shattered crystal heels in the park. Another great symbol.
Not that. And she confesses everything to Hal.
Everything. The spell, the society's motives, the guilt about the hex leak. Pours it all out.
And then Maeve shows up.
Just then, in this wonderful moment of unplanned synchronicity, Maeve transferred herself using an enchanted suitcase. They're back together.
But the stakes are sky high now.
Astronomical. They're a desperate trio. They hold a seance using Hal's crystal ball.
And Maeve's spirit contact, Enid, appears.
And the truth bombs just keep dropping. Enid reveals she's Maeve's dead mother, the seventh herald of the powerful Cadmus family.
The family the society destroyed.
Well, by Glory Whitlock, yeah. They destroyed the Cadmus family because their potent, sort of uncontrolled magic threatened the established elite order.
And Annie realizes she was unwittingly helping the villains hunt Maeve, her sort of found daughter figure now.
Crushing guilt. And Glory is now actively hunting Maeve to steal her power through some dark ritual.
Okay, final stand time. At the Witch's Ring.
They flee on Mage, Hal's horse, instantly confronted by Glory and the remaining heralds. It's on.
Annie tries to protect Maeve.
Right.
But gets distracted.
Yeah, Romilly gets captured by Glory, momentarily distracts Annie. Glory traps Maeve with tree roots. Hal has to physically restrain Annie.
And tells her to trust Maeve. She wants to shine.
Huge moment of surrender for Annie. Letting go of control when it matters most. Trusting Maeve's power.
And Maeve delivers.
Oh, she does. Wields that silver-tipped pink pencil Annie had enchanted for her ages ago.
A fusion of their magic.
Exactly. Annie's small, precise magic and Maeve's immense power. Maeve harnesses starlight, solidifies it into ropes, binds the heralds.
But Glory captures her.
Briefly, Maeve uses this final, desperate burst of light magic, blinds Glory, forces the Supreme Herald to stumble out of the protective Witch's Ring.
And outside the ring.
Glory just vanishes as the protective mushroom satellite, poof, gone.
Yeah.
The remaining heralds are secured by Selkuth. Marina and Hal handle that. It's chaotic, authentic victory, not neat, but real.
So, the aftermath. Maeve is safe, but injured.
Yeah. And Marina offers Maeve this prestigious position at Hecke House, a return to the rigid structure they initially ran from.
But Maeve turns it down.
Brightly declines, the text says. Chooses to stay with Annie and Hal. Chooses found family over status.
And Annie, what's her path now?
Annie chooses her path too. Leaves Celeste behind, a tearful goodbye with Faye Pari. She decides to follow her passion without the external pressure.
To a new bakery.
A small, quiet bakery in the village near Arden Place. Something authentic, and Maeve gets a new familiar.
Oh, yeah. The kitten, Grim.
Who is impressively grim. Perfect for Maeve.
So the book wraps up with them settling into this beautiful, imperfect, found family at Arden Place.
Exactly. Hal, Maeve, Annie. And that final scene captures the feeling of apricity.
Apricity. The warmth of the sun in winter, like that.
Yeah, it's not about achieving perfect, endless summer. It's about choosing warmth and connection, despite the messiness, despite the cold. Annie finally finds real happiness.
Authentic purpose. Outside of the hex. In a life defined by love and chaos, not expectation.
That's it. A life she chose.
That really is a phenomenal journey of self-discovery. It makes you think, doesn't it? How much of your own perceived perfection is driven by that fear of external failure or the need to impress someone else? What kind of chaotic, fiercely authentic life might you uncover if you finally let go of that suffocating pressure? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe for more bookish adventures and hit that like button if you enjoyed the ride. Don't forget to share the knowledge, spread the word.